How are ya? Welcome to That's Gross Hockey. The boys are back. We're here to talk a little Olympic tournament. There's a lot to discuss since we've talked. So let's get down to it, boys. How we doing? Jake, what's going on?
What's going on, boys? Can you guys hear me? Can't tell if my mic's on.
I mean, I can hear you either way. I don't know if it's through your mic or not, but
Um, yeah, doing good. Fucking got some Olympic hockey going. Gotta love it. Been waiting 12 years for this shit.
absolutely. Yeah, I mean, don't think there's too much personal stuff to get into, and frankly, no one would listen anyway. But JB, how's things? How you doing? How you feeling? What's
Doing
going on?
good. All is good. Not much going on outside of watching the Olympics and yeah.
It's been fun, huh? I mean, that Germany game, we can bring up the fact that, obviously we run in this Instagram account and that was doing really well. So that was annoying to see that got taken down. But otherwise, that was a great game, really exciting, and just a taste of what is to come. Yeah, so all right, here's what I want to get into first. The good and the bad of Team USA so far. So I think, obviously they're 3-0, but it's pretty easy to just look at that and be like, oh, whatever. But they're clearly like number two ranked in this tournament. I haven't even seen the official rankings, but I know enough about puck to tell you they're number two ranked. Now, the way they've performed in some of those games has left people, I think, with some doubts in their mind, and I think that's reasonable. For example, the game versus Denmark, I mentioned I didn't really watch that like start to finish, but wasn't great. They won the game, but a team like Denmark, I think I don't know, can anyone help me out here? Do they have any NHLers? Maybe a few? No.
Yeah,
Oh, they do.
Gergensen. They got
Okay.
a couple like smaller end guys.
You're right. You're right. I was
Um,
mixing that up with Latvia. Latvia, I think, does not.
or no, the Ehlers is a pretty notable name.
Yeah, Ehlers. There's a few more. I think even Freddie Anderson was a Denmarkian, whatever the fuck that's called. But yeah, so I mean, obviously, right? Like,
It's Dane. Just
okay, cool.
throw that in there.
Cool.
Not correcting you, just
No, 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 it's cool. I mean, I'm glad you retained something in your from your education. I'm happy for you.
definitely didn't learn that at JWU.
Speaking of that, I mean, we should mention that too. I mean, that was crazy, the
Yeah.
news. I didn't really look into it too much. Just saw like from our group chat, the gross locker room. Let us know if you want to join it. Private community here. No, seriously, there's a lot of good people in there, and it's become bigger than really what we thought it would be. But the story was shared about there was a shooting in a rink, and from what I read, again, I was kind of like in the middle of a few things, but it seemed like it was a guy who was hung up on an ex-girlfriend or an ex-wife or something, and went to a hockey rink and shot her and killed her. I don't know. Did he kill anybody else, Jake? Did anyone else get injured?
Um,
We should
I
probably look this up.
I think it said two people were killed, but I also read a report that said like he died too. He probably shot himself.
Yeah. Two
But
killed, three hospitalized in Pawtucket ice rink shooting.
dude, like I don't know if you guys watched the video. One of the guys in the
There's a
chat sent
video.
it in there. There was a fucking lot of shots.
I heard it was like 12. I saw
Dude,
someone say
like
that.
I
Yeah.
was just like, holy shit. He I don't know what kind of gun he had, but probably used the whole fucking clip. It's horrible. It's awful. Like a fucking high school girls hockey game and you're that mentally deranged that you can't get over whatever fucking issues you were having. Like it's just sad. It's just sad. This is the world we live in. But
Yeah. And JB, I see you're muted, but I don't know. You can jump in at any point if you got anything to say. Um, but
Yeah, I mean, obviously, our thoughts and prayers are out to them. I actually had one of my, I wouldn't really say like buddies or friends, but it was a goalie that I played with growing up. He is a scorekeeper at that rink. He was actually I forget what I kind of heard like through a friend of a friend, but he was like the scorekeeper in the game before, or like
Jeez.
he was somehow at the rink before that game started and he had left. But yeah, I mean, it's just awful. It kind of puts things into perspective, but then also is just like complete insanity where it's like you can't even go to a hockey game or I mean, bring your daughter to a game and just watch without being worried that you might get shot. So I don't know. I don't know where we go from here, but it, there's got to be some type of fix. I don't know. We're not
Yeah.
those guys,
No,
but
no, no. I mean, yeah, the real like reason I brought it up, look, we're not gonna bring up every like mass shooting because it's actually a lot. And we don't really get into too many things outside of the game of hockey, but we all went to JWU. That's how we originally met. And that's the rink I believe they still play out of. I know the picture that came out was at least like had the Wildcat logo on the rink. I'm not sure if they moved rinks at all. I know at one point a few years ago they played there. So it's just crazy. I mean, yeah, it definitely brings it in perspective. Like, imagine if this happened 4 years ago when we were all attending, or at this point, seven from freshman year that we were there. But yeah, nuts. So, I mean, just psychopaths out there. But there's really not much else you can say at this point. It's unfortunate. Um, and really just to get this thing back on the track, though, do you remember what I was saying or what we were talking about right before that? Obviously, Olympics, Denmark. Um, oh, you said Danes,
Yeah,
Jay.
Dean and I said definitely didn't learn that at JWU.
Yeah. So, not the best news there, but so obviously that game was not great. Like, I'm sure you guys probably feel the same way, though. I mean, you cannot blame USA that much for probably looking past that team, thinking about your ideally this is a tournament you're going to play Canada, and that's what everyone's thinking about right now. I know Canada's smashing everybody they play right now. They're legitimate insane, but a team like Germany was really the Americans' first test, and part of me feels like they played to the level of their competition a little bit and just might not have been really present.
I was also listening to 32 Thoughts today. I don't know if you guys ever tune into that show. It's Elliot Friedman and
Yeah.
Kyle Bukauskas.
I not really
And
much, but I obviously know Elliot is a pretty good source of things. So
yeah, so Elliot was saying is obviously they didn't look the best in the first two games, and then Germany, it was just a big, still not at what you expect them to be, but it's because in those first two games, it was like there's no bad blood there at all. Like there was no like hate, there's no, but like with Germany, like Draisaitl, like the Tkachuks, like they got that like kind of bad blood flowing, and then like that's their identity. Like they're gonna motherfuck you. They want to put you through the wall. It's like you're playing Latvia and Denmark. Like there's really no bad blood there. Like
yeah, that's a good point. And
yeah, I
and
thought it was
honestly, it makes me think of as well, like maybe an advantage for them in this tournament where Four Nations, they kind of had to manufacture that hatred, right? Like I know Kachuk didn't like Hagel and the fighting kind of seemed like let's do this so that this is a huge, exciting atmosphere. And it's just a much shorter tournament. So the fact there's some buildup, I like it for USA. And you know, I'm sure you guys will have thoughts of your own but I'm curious to know what you think of this. I personally think this Olympic has some synchronicities or is a similar to in some ways to 1980. I think Canada this year is similar to the Soviets. I mean, they are crushing everybody. They're the clear favorites, and I'm not going to say that they're going to not be ready for the US, but I don't know. It just seems like they're not going to have any adversity in this tournament until they play the United States. So, what do you guys think about that?
JB. JB, you hop in here.
um, yeah, I mean, I definitely think that the U.S. might be overlooked a little bit. I mean, I don't think the gap is that big. I mean, we saw it a year ago that we beat them and then we lost by a goal. So I think a lot of the stuff is blown out of proportion a bit. Um, I definitely agree with the fact that Canada is the top dog. I'm not saying that that's not true, but I don't view it as like I feel like different Canadian fans, like you'll listen to them and it's just like insanity, dude. Like they're almost talking like the US is a complete joke. And it's just like, I don't know, dude, like watching them last year, obviously a little bit different team, but it's just like I have all the faith in the US and I think it'll be a close game. I do think that they're the underdog and it might play into that a bit, but you also look at the other side, like Crosby, McDavid, like these guys aren't taking it lightly either. I mean, we've seen McDavid throw hits since pretty much the first game. So I don't really know. I mean, I guess I agree a little bit with the take, but I definitely don't think that it's that far off from the two teams in like competitiveness.
Yeah, I agree with both of you actually. But I think something that I don't know, did you guys watch the Boys of 80,
Yeah.
the new documentary that came out?
Yeah, that was great.
Watching that, I kind of realized like the economic state of the US back then and now is like kind of similar. I feel like just like the whole mood, like obviously there's a lot of shit going on politically within our country and a little bit externally, but like that was the Cold War back then. And I don't know, it's just a little similar there. And it's been so long since we've won that it just feels like if we do win, which it's definitely an uphill battle, that's gonna be a very hard team to beat. It's something that could bring us closer together as a nation in a time that everything is so divided.
Yeah, no, well said. I agree. I definitely think there's some similarities, like cultural and kind of where I know we all stand because we texted about it a little bit. But you know, whether you call it fortunately or unfortunately or really don't think it matters, these Olympics become very political. Like we see it posting this content, especially posting US like kind of centric content, is it's not just, hey, first of all, there's a lot of we, which I think is kind of wild from some 12-year-old Canadian kid. It's like, buddy, I would put the puck between your legs 100 times. But the bigger point I'm trying to make is that it's not even just about the game. It tends to go into like, your soy boy MAGA pussy. Like it's like, what? You don't know anything about me. It's a crazy assumption and it becomes crazy. Like to JB's point about some of these people being insane. Americans too, don't get me wrong. But um yeah, so I mean, I don't know if that's a good thing or a bad. I would say it's kind of annoying to me, but it definitely benefits gross hockey's engagement. I'll tell you that. So, yeah, I mean, there's a lot of political things that are going to come up. We saw it at Four Nations. It definitely was true in the 1980 Miracle run. And winning can be great. So, I would love that. That would be awesome to watch. But yeah, anything else like takeaways, anybody who's stood out to you? Obviously, Hellebuck seems like it's probably his net at this point. Ottinger never got a shot. Swayman didn't look great in his like kind of opportunity that he got there. Um, who has stood out to you? I'll throw it to JB. Like who's a guy who's really stood out to you?
Uh,
Um, you say me or Jake?
You.
Whoever wants to go. Yeah, I mean, I definitely think Jack Hughes has looked solid. He was a guy that I was kind of weary on just from watching him last year. I didn't think he played great in the Four Nations. And then also just like the type of play and still like we're yet to see really. I mean, it'll be a true test against like Canada, his play style, but he's been a guy that stood out. I think Jack Eichel, like I was kind of expecting it, but like he just keeps like it's unbelievable how good he is defensively. He had multiple breakups in the D zone, and he has a quick up, hits one of the wingers, and the puck's immediately out of their end. So I would say those two guys, and then the last one I would say Tage. I had one of my buddies that was at the game actually that sent us in that video, but good to see him get on the score sheet. I think in the long run he'll be a horse for this team.
yeah, and I think you hit it the nail on the head there. I think Jack Hughes, especially, like, guy who stands out for me. I think he just looks a lot more confident. I think the bigger ice surface and this level of play definitely helps his game because obviously he's a smaller guy, speedy.
Isn't
I
it?
think your
Isn't
boy
the?
Matt Boldy has looked phenomenal as well.
I was just gonna say, isn't the rink smaller?
Oh, it's actually not normal Olympic size, right? I think
Yeah,
it's
'cause
still a little bit bigger, but I don't think it's
no, I'm
normal.
pretty sure it's actually smaller than an NHL rink.
Is it?
Like the distance, I'm not exactly sure, but I think it's the distance from like the boards to the net. I just wanted to make that point because it is weird because we're so familiar with this term Olympic ice, and then the NHL guys come to the Olympics first time in 14 years, and it's not an Olympic size rink. So just a small point, but you made a good call. I mean, Hughes, Boldy as well. I mean, he's just been really good all over the ice. So I don't know if I cut you off there. If there's anything
Oh,
else.
you're good. I think another guy who we only saw him in one game, but I think Keller. I think Keller looked really good, especially he's sitting on the bench for the last two games. He stepped in there, looked really confident, had a lot of poise with the puck. Um, where would you guys go? Because it kind of looks like it's between Connor and Keller to be that to be in the lineup. Where would you guys lean on that one?
My feeling would be Keller. I really didn't honestly see him a lot on the ice, but I just feel like he's a better player. I feel like his game relies more on his IQ versus Connor. I really haven't seen much from him since the Four Nations or this. I don't really know if he fits in the bottom six, where I think Keller makes a little bit more sense there.
JB?
Yeah, I agree with that.
Okay.
Yeah.
I also agreed. I'd go Keller as well.
Yeah. I mean, look, guys, obviously, I'm asking you guys who stood out, and I think you guys were giving me kind of off the beaten path answers on purpose, and I appreciate that. But we definitely got to mention the Tkachuk brothers, and I mean their impact on the game, right? Like I don't know how many points exactly. I know Brady, I think, is second in goals behind Matthews, who I also did want to make a little bit of a point about him, where we've had our conversations about him. I feel like I'm waiting for this, man. I'm really an Austin Matthews fan, and I want him to succeed. If it's against the Bruins in game seven, no, I'm not going to say that. But like, if anything outside of that, I like the guy. I think he's kind of a chill dude. He's playing in a really rough media environment. He's got all the tools. I think he gets a lot of hate. And I really don't think that team in Toronto has ever been legitimate enough for him to really make a run. Yeah, he has fallen short a little bit, but I'm hopeful that this is a tournament where he's kind of able to prove some people wrong. Uh, but the Kachucks, man. I mean, what do you guys want to say about that? Obviously, there was the chirp that Matthew threw to Draisaitl. That was great. Anything else?
Yeah, I mean, this is exactly what you needed and you knew you were going to get for them. They're both gamers. Matthew loves to talk out there, and let's be honest, like he's fucking goddamn good at it. Even Marshawn said in the playoffs, he was like, "You're the only person that's ever said anything to me on the ice where it's like really gotten to me." So he plays a mental game and it gets to you. So that's something I look forward to if we do meet Canada that plays to our advantage. And yeah, they've been great. They need to keep rolling. I do want to go back to Matthews a little bit, see what you guys think about his play recently. Because I think in that first game at Latvia, I was at work, so I was watching, but it was like hard to watch every little detail. But I thought he was the worst player on the ice for that game. But I think he's improved. He looked good, pretty good against Germany. There's still a couple plays that I saw that I didn't love his choices with the puck, but I think he was getting to the right spots. He was playing well defensively as well. So it's definitely a positive on that
Yeah, I
opinion.
mean, you're talking Matthews. I think I mean, I don't completely disagree with you. I think my biggest thing for Matthews, and it's kind of always been it, is like until he proves to me in a big game that he's the guy or like he can back up, you know, being a top three player in the NHL, like it's hard for me to like say anything because it's like, all right, yeah, he looks pretty good. He's playing all right. But then it's like you look at the competition right now, it's not like they should be walking over these teams. Like it's not anything crazy. You are expecting him to do that. So I also am on the side. I agree with Mike. Like I think it would be great to see him kind of, I don't know, just shed some of that weight off of his shoulders. I think of being a big name and never performing up to what people think he should be. So it's like if they do get the chance to play Canada, I mean that's where you're looking for him to really stand out and just like you're not going to take over that game, but just be a true dominant force. Like you look at the Tkachuks, like they have way more impact. Jack Eichel, more impact. And it's like you look at a guy like Matthews and how sought after he is in the NHL, right? He scored a bunch of goals. He's a great skater, but it's just like I don't really care if he's doing that against Denmark. I want to see him do it against Canada or a true team that's going to test them.
For sure. Couldn't agree more.
Yeah. Yeah, no, I mean, I think it's totally fair to say you got to see it. And I totally agree with that. I guess more where I'm coming from too is like it's kind of just it's a relatable thing as a man. Like first of all, let's just put it out there. Like the things that he gets criticism for that we've all done vocally on this podcast. Just to be completely honest, without cards in the table, it's very fucking hard. Like it's not easy to do any of the things we're saying. Sometimes it's just yeah, pulling your bootstraps up. It's hard to criticize that, to be honest, as just a normal dude who like doesn't have that kind of weight on him. But I think if you're gonna actually criticize, not even just criticize, if you're gonna analyze something honestly, you do have to bring it up. So I obviously it's very valid. But yeah, like I'm rooting for him. That's really where it comes from. To answer about how he's played, I think like Latvia, maybe not amazing. I think he's been dog on puck, and I think he's been kind of what he is. He's a little bit of a one-dimensional forward, to be honest. Like he's a high skill elite, one of the best goal scorers in the league. Is he a great playmaker? Not really. Like he's very skilled with the puck and he's a big body. And his game is when he's in that state of flow where he's just making plays to the net. Like whether he's shooting from distance, whether he's kind of makes a one-on-one play, drives the net, whatever it is, like he's very impactful in that way. And honestly, man, I don't think it's that crazy to think that a lot of the media hate and I mean, dude, there's no one in the fucking league besides Mitch Marner, his running mate, who's taken as much as he has in the last decade. So I think that stuff gets to you. And I would definitely like to see him rip a monkey off his back, prove some people wrong with an American hockey jersey on his chest as well. So we'll see, but I don't know if JB, did you have any thoughts about the Kachucks? Like obviously, you know, Brady is playing really well. Matthew, I don't know if has as many points, but anything just about their game that stood out to you? Because I have a few. I just kind of want to throw it around.
Yeah, I mean they're just animals. I mean talk about dogs on meat, right? Like that's them. I mean they can score. Jake was saying it, obviously the chirping side of it. I mean, Matthew's unbelievable at. I mean, I love Brady's game, and we've had this conversation so many times of just like talk about the Bruins and like wanting a guy like he would be absolutely amazing just with the way he plays. He finish hits, and he's just I don't know. They're both super fun to watch. I enjoy the Olympics or any time that they represent the U.S. just because for a couple of weeks we can cheer for them and not hate, especially Matthew. But I'm just excited to continue watching them play. I think we still have a lot more to see from them. I think they're kind of ramping up into it, and I can only imagine what they'll look like playing against Canada.
Yeah, I mean, as far as guys I would love to see in a Bruin uniform, I think he's outside of McDavid, he's number one. I don't know how close it is. Like Eichel's in that conversation for sure because of the need, but yeah, Brady Tkachuk would be an incredible fit in Boston. And I think we were definitely hoping he was enjoying the vibe when he was, lighting it up and hearing that pop at TD Garden and that incredible atmosphere. Um, but like he's also really an incredible leader at a very young age. And I think like to your guys' point about their on ice play, I agree with you obviously. And I guess my thing would be to kind of bring up their leadership, like intangible abilities, like they just kind of get it, and you might not be their biggest fan because you're not an Ottawa Senator or a Florida Panther hockey fan, but I think honestly, I said this recently. I think if you can't acknowledge it, you're kind of you're showing your cards. Like, we're all Bruins fans. Am I a big Matthew Tkachuk fan? No, neither am I with Sam Bennett. But I can acknowledge that what they do works, as someone who rooted for Brad Marchand, who played a similar way. Like it's kind of silly to hear. There's a lot of Canadian fans who are saying, "I actually saw this. I wonder what your thoughts are." That neither of them would make Team Canada. What do you
What?
guys think?
That's the fucking dumbest thing I've ever heard in my entire life.
No, I know. I mean,
They definitely wouldn't be on the first line. Probably
no.
like third or fourth maybe, but
Yeah.
that's absurd. That's ludicrous.
That's what I mean. It's like not acknowledging what they bring to the table is admitting that you kind of like don't really get the game, in my opinion. Like, or you're just like too big of a bias. But yeah, I mean, yeah, they're not obviously better than McDavid and certain guys like McKinnon, obviously, yeah. But look at what Matt Tkachuk has done since he came to Florida. Like, look, this is not a stroke off session, but like in most of the people who are gonna listen to this are American people who are probably hockey fans, all 17 of you. And I would guess most of you guys are US hockey fans. So uh, those two guys are the heart of the team. And um, one of the announcers brought up their IQ and their intelligence being underrated. And I heard a lot of stuff online of people like disagreeing with that. I mean, it's not rocket science, but like Matt Kachuk's details of the game, both of them, like they're very good in the small areas of the ice. Like they read the game well. It never looks like the game is too fast for them. Excuse me, too fast for them. And that's number one sign of hockey IQ. If a guy looks like he's really talented but can't make plays, that's a lack of IQ. You might not think they're the smartest guys off the ice, and that's fine. Who gives a shit? They're really intelligent hockey players, and it bleeds into their intangibles as well with like how they lead, which is like human psychology, and also with the way they're able to get under top guys on the other team's skill. Like that's just a complete understanding of the game. Obviously, learned it from a guy who did it the right way, Keith Kachuk. Small tidbit for you guys too. I saw the Boston Fire Department posted something about them and said, I don't know if a lot of people know, but their uncle was on the Boston Police Fire Department for, however many years. So a lot of ties to Boston in there. And yeah, I mean, two guys who are definitely fun to root for and not fun to watch play against your team. So definitely excited. I mean, Brady Tkachuk came out with something. He said, when the moment comes, like we're gonna peak when the moment calls for it." And they're saying all the right things. I'm excited. Yeah, not every game has been incredible as Canada. Like, what do you guys think their differential, Canada's goal differential is? I mean, it's like plus 20.
Yeah. I think they've only let what, 3 goals in all tournament.
Is that true? 3 games, 3 goals.
I think so. They shut out Czech the first game. I think they let one in to Swiss. And then
Wasn't it 10-2 against France?
yeah,
So what does that add up to?
3 goals.
All right, dude, it says plus 17 goal differential,
Yeah.
24-3 against. It's insane.
That's
So like
absurd.
that's kind of what I mean by like Soviet comparisons. Is like they have no competition right now. And I think the USA, again, the Canada is too smart and too good to like think they can walk over them. But and their team is built like with physicality and mind and gamers. So I don't know. But like JB, like you said, underdogs, and personally, that's what I would prefer as a hockey fan. If you're the team like we saw in 23 that has everything to lose, nothing to gain besides winning the entire thing, sometimes that can be worse. So
Here's a
yeah,
point that I think is pretty interesting. If you look at pretty much every time we've played them in the Olympics, I don't know if you guys have heard this yet, but they don't win the game that matters. They always win the first one. we're not playing. We didn't play them first this year. If we play them, it's going to be once, and it's going to be in the gold medal game. What do you think about that? There's no shooting your load off early. It's go time. What that was maybe
I
it
just
might
wanted
not have
to
made sense, but
I just wanted to let that last sentence just
That was a Mexican standoff right there. Who would unmute? No, you go, JB. I was just yapping.
yeah. No, I mean I think it's a great thing, right? Like these guys are going to be so hyped to be a part of that game that yeah, I don't know. It's like kind of the sizing up too. I think if they jump right into that game against Canada, like they're going to bring it and there's not going to be that kind of reaction time after the fact of getting the chance to play them again. It's kind of like you got to on the fly make some adjustments. And I think some of the moves that they did were for that, right? Like you look at the Tom Wilson situation, like I think he's brought in for a game against the US. Like I think that's why that happened.
for sure, I think if they didn't have to play the US, I think you can just make that team an all-star team.
Yeah. Yeah, I would agree with that. Definitely. And I think that's where the USA can beat them. In my opinion, it's their best shot, right? Is a close game. And I think it's going to be a close game. I think you need your goaltender to be better than theirs, which didn't happen last time. You need your defense as a whole to be better, which based on the gold medal game of the four nations, if we go in, or I said we, but if Team USA goes in healthy, their defense is much better than the team, that they played there. Granted, I think Canada had Cale Makar maybe a little bit banged up. Like that was the only game he played in that tournament. Um, and I
Correct.
know I know they lost Harley at one point, but Quinn Hughes and Charlie McAvoy are your top D pair. They're two players who complement each other extremely well. So that combined with if Hellebuck can really lock it in, which I believe in him. Like I did have my opinion on Swayman, but I'm not married to that man. Like whatever guy can lock in for this week here, um, I think it's obvious Hellebuck had the advantage going in. So I think the part of what happened with Swayman, I'd have to look at the goals again. Really didn't see
He
many.
did not look good at all.
I know, but you're also the last guy I'm going to ask about goalie performance, and that's no shade.
I mean, dude, it was pretty cut and clear though. Like
Yeah,
shot from the blue line. One of the shots, it got tipped, but it was from the fucking red line.
yeah.
I love the guy, trust me, but
No, no, no. Look, I'm not going to defend that one. I mean, I think enough came out about that. But I'm just saying I'm not going to really like harp on it without actually seeing it. That was like the only goal I saw. But my point on that is just like sometimes people don't think about really what's going on in front of a goaltender. Like if a goal goes in, they don't like it's like weak, but there's just a lot of factors that go into that position that I can't be so quick to really
I think he was
whatever.
just pooping himself, to be honest with you.
yeah, I
And
Like
agree.
he
that's totally
gets
fair.
his opportunity, and that's like me kind of defending him. Like I don't.
Yeah.
He's a young dude. It's kind of his first like opportunity with this team. Obviously, he played last year in the what was it, the Worlds?
Yeah, which is not as big. They beat what Switzerland and for gold. But
Yeah.
yeah.
But so it's like obviously that was a good experience, and you kind of like alluded to it earlier of it was kind of Hellebuck's net from the get-go. So Swayman gets that game, and the thought process is like, I really want to play well. I want the opportunity. The way I play is going to determine what's going to happen after this. So, and obviously I didn't play goalie, so I can only say so much, but I think if a little of those thoughts start to creep in, it doesn't take much for the dams to kind of open a bit. And he did a great job. He settled in. And I think out of all the positions on the ice, the goalies are the biggest one for that, where it's like you got to settle early, right? Like I remember growing up, coaches would always say, as far as like the goalie side, like you want them to feel pucks early, like kind
Yeah.
of get into the game. Same way as a player, you want to get hit or hit someone on your first shift, so you're bought into it. So I don't really think that it's a knock on Swayman at all. I think it was a good experience. He's going to be a guy for the U.S. now for a while, and I think Hellebuck is just he obviously played last year in the tournament, got you to where you wanted to go. Obviously, didn't get over the hump. But I think Swayman did what he needed to do, and all
Yeah.
was good.
No, look, I think that's a really good look into the goalie mind. Like that's one, if I were to sit here and we're not going to waste much more time on this because it isn't a factor really. But if I were to really sit here and be like, let's talk about the position more and whatever, my little nerd bullshit, one element would definitely be the mind. And you brought it up. Like, that's a huge part of it. And then there's also the aspect of, again, I didn't watch the game too tightly, but you go into a game that, the team kind of assumes they're going to walk through, and the goaltender tends to have the most difficult game of any player in that situation just because more high danger chances come up, and then you start letting those in, and then throw in a fucking half center ice goal. Yeah, you're swimming upstream pretty quickly. So, well said. That was really just more of what I wanted to say on him. But again, I didn't even really watch that game too tightly. Um, but so yeah. Any uh any other thoughts? Let me see in my notes here. I mean, I thought they looked really good against Germany. Like again, night and day versus the previous game. They were ready. Like they knew that was a game they had to prove something. And I think based on the other games they played, they were like, all right, like let's show this tournament a little bit of who we are, even though we're 2-0. So love to see what the Tkachuks were doing, getting under the skin of Draisaitl. Thought they defended really well. Hellebuck was good when they needed it, and everything was great. I mean, you really can't complain too much about that game.
I have something here. I want to do a little role play here. All right. So I want to hear from both of you. And you can obviously, whoever goes second, you can agree with some stuff. But you are Mike Sullivan, right? You're walking into that U.S. locker room. What are you saying, and what is your game plan with the thought that you're playing Team Canada? And what are you saying to the team? What is like the style of play you need? What do you need to see from that U.S. team to beat Canada?
You want me to go, Jake, or you ready?
I'll go.
Go for it.
I mean, I think it's in that scenario, it's very important to get them hyped up. I'm not a hype man, so I won't try to
No,
put it
feel
in my
free.
own words or anything, but you fucking hit everything that moves, like just beat the fuck out of them. That's their game. They're Canada's faster than you. They're more skilled than you, but you're tougher. You're bigger. You're tougher. You have better defending. You're better goaltending. If you stick to that script and play to your strengths, I don't see, you
Yeah, you
might
got to
have,
come out and punch him in the mouth quickly.
yeah, honestly.
Yeah.
I like that because
JT
we've
Miller
got
just sacrifice 13 forward, won't see the ice for the rest of the game. Fucking punch
yeah.
Connor right in his mouth.
Wait, what was that?
I said JT Miller, 13th forward. He can take the fight for the boys. Punch
Yeah,
Connor
just
right in the mouth.
yeah, or honestly, take his stick. No, I would never advocate for that. Um, yeah, no, I mean, obviously, yeah, you're gonna want to pump him up. My thing, in terms of like strategy, would be something the Kachuk brothers do so well, which is like really make those guys, the top guys on that team, have a really rough night. Like make them earn every single inch. That's where it's tough. Like if you play a game where you're trying to just kind of cancel out McDavid and McKinnon and Crosby, they might be on all separate lines. That's a tough fucking matchup, boys. Like for anybody. Those are three of the best players. You could argue centers all time. Like they're in at least two of them are on the Mount Rushmore. Like it's insane.
Yeah, think
Um,
about how many generational players are on that team.
yeah, it's great. Macklin Celebrini fit so well in that group. Like I wish he was. I mean, he should be on the American team, low key. I don't know everything about his like backstory, but he spent a lot of time as an American,
Yeah,
I'll
he
say.
he could he probably is a American citizen, honestly, too. But
Yeah, so it's like, fuck, man, that would have been great. I wish they didn't put him on the team and we could have him. Anyway, um, kind of reminds me of in 2004, or maybe 2003, the year before Ovechkin's draft, Florida tried to draft him
yeah,
because they argued leap year. made him eligible. And the Bettman had to like run up there and be like, "Fuck, what the fuck are you doing? That guy's like, you can't take him." So that's
Worth a
kind of a
shot.
yeah. It's the same way I think the U.S. should have went after Macklin Celebrini. But yeah, I mean, I would say, look, make those top guys life hell tonight. I would probably pull some Herb Brooks out, honestly, and just be like, 9 times out of 10, these guys might beat you. But like, this is a hockey game, and if you work your ass off and you punch them in the mouth, like to your point earlier, anything is possible. So go out and fucking make history, make everybody back home so proud, and never regret the way that you played and that you left everything out there on the ice and not go into X's and O's too much, but just kind of walk out with that. JB, what about you? You asked the question.
It just ripped my door off, dude. I don't even need it anymore.
Just fired me up.
Yeah, no, I honestly I agree with both of kind of the takes that you guys had, kind of similar. I definitely do think, like Jake said, I think you got to come out and just immediately attack. Like there can't really be that tentative waiting play style. I think you got to punch them in the mouth and just keep the pressure on them, gas all the way to the floor. I do think we got to pull some Herb Brooks speech, something in there. Um,
Cite him a little bit.
yeah, just wake them up a bit. And I don't know, honestly, dude, I think maybe you let that room control itself. I think that might be the answer in it all, is that Mike Sullivan isn't needed to step into that room, that you shut the door and you let the boys of
Yeah.
26 handle it themselves.
But yeah.
Yeah, I mean it's actually an interesting thought is like I wonder how much that creeps into the coaching staff. I
He
mean,
says something and then they're just like, dude, Chuck, he's banging your daughter.
yeah, right. He's like, that's a long way from the heart. It's like, yeah, my dick's not a long way from your daughter.
Jesus Christ.
Oh, guys, we are a comedy podcast. But
That's wild.
um, I mean, just thinking out loud, like you gotta wonder if Mike Sullivan's like, fuck, like think about how much Herb Brooks gets credit for that. And he should. Like he really did a lot. Now Mike Sullivan isn't able to take these guys for 6 months and train them like fucking military. But you just gotta wonder how much he's like, I don't want to pull back because like, you look at the last time the US pulled something like this off and whatever, but they also have John Tortorella. I wonder what he's like as an assistant coach and if he is more friendly or if he, maybe he's friendly but tries to keep them grounded as well by being stern. I mean, he's obviously a legendary coach. Takes a lot of heat now on Twitter, but in his prime, he got a lot out of teams that probably didn't deserve to go as far as they did.
My guess is he's probably no different. He's just a motherfucker. I think that's just his personality.
Yeah, that's very possible. That's
But
very possible. Um, yeah, I mean, I think Eichel and Matthews have been good. Obviously, the big moment is really where we're going to see the extent of their abilities here. Um, One point you guys brought up Hughes. I personally wouldn't mind watching Hughes ride wing with Matthews. I don't think I've seen, again, like thinking about Matthews' style of play, I don't really think him and Gensel have clicked too well. I think Boldy's a guy who can kind of play with anybody, but I would like to slot Hughes up on that wing. I think he's really looked comfortable, kind of that flow state. Like, and again, maybe this is kind of replicating what Marner was able to do for Matthews with being a little bit more of a playmaker, a shifty winger who can create offense in kind of a bunch of different ways and definitely distribute the puck to a guy like Austin Matthews, who really just needs time and space. The guy is, I mean, he scored a couple goals last night that were right in the crease, which you love to see Austin Matthews do. But I think we also want to see him get that wrist shot off and start like a couple times he pulls it too early. He's rushed, and of course people are going to pressure him. But what do you guys think about that? What do you guys think about the lineup in general? Any thoughts on that, or anywhere else in the lineup that you would like a guy to go up, down, whatever?
yeah, I think they've been pretty good. I haven't really had too much of an issue. I do like your idea of throwing Hughes with Matthews potentially because I think he's been playing on the fourth line, right?
Yeah.
They put him on the power play and everything. Obviously, he's a skill guy, but he's not playing in that top six.
I think he did move away from that fourth line for a little bit though.
Really?
because he originally was with Nelson and they had that play. I think he's played a little maybe on the third now, but I'm not
Okay.
100%.
Yeah. I don't have much of a issue with the lines. I think like guys like Keller, Hughes, Gensel are kind of interchangeable in their spots. I think Larkin and Thompson have really clicked well. Like you said, Boldy can play with anybody. And then that first line I wouldn't touch at all. And I do like the fact that they're putting Hughes and Werenski out there a lot together, which I mean those are your two best defensemen. You need goals.
Yeah.
So but yeah, that's my opinion. I think they're pretty good lines.
Yeah, I don't really think I would change much. We said at the beginning I would throw Keller in, take Connor out. Um, but yeah, no, I don't know. I think it like on the fly stuff too. Like
Mm.
you get into that game, kind of see what's working early, and or vice versa. If something's not working, I don't think it's bad either to switch it up on the fly and
Yeah.
try to get the most out of them because now you are facing single game elimination. So
I know, right?
you gotta find what works quickly.
Yeah, maybe you split the Kachucks up a little bit. Love them together, but maybe you decide, putting one with Eichel and one with Matthews is able to kind of distribute what they bring to the on ice, you know, situation a little bit. What about we're not going to waste too much time with regrets, but would you guys at this point say you would still prefer replacing, let's just say Keller, one of Keller, Connor, Trocheck, Miller with a Robertson or a Cole Caulfield?
Um, yeah, I think Robertson should be there. I think I'd take him over Connor personally.
Yeah. That might just be a wing, like a handedness kind of decision. But he's had a great year.
Yeah.
Cole's a lefty, I think, right?
No, he's a righty.
Oh,
I don't know, like obviously you can't take anything away from him, how good he is, how just it's a pure ability to score goals, but I just don't really see where he'd fit on this team.
mm,
Like I don't know. He is small. I mean, it doesn't really matter, but I don't know. Just like I don't see who I'd want to take out over him. I
yeah.
mean, like maybe Trocheck, but like also Trocheck plays a completely different game. He's there for a completely different reason.
Yeah, I mean that's kind of where I was going with it is because I'm not like too upset about really the way they look. Like obviously it would be hard to be too upset about it, but like I understand it. Like are those two guys top NHL American born forwards? Maybe not. Definitely not skill wise and, prime of your career, but the view is definitely looking at this is like this isn't about who's going to be better in 3 years, who's on a better contract, who's scoring more efficiently. It's who's going to play a role. So, JB, I don't know if you have any thoughts on that, but I mean, just kind of curious what you guys were thinking midway through the tournament on that.
No, I honestly don't.
Sanderson on D, really underrated player as well. I've not really noticed him too much in Ottawa, but I know he's talked about highly at Four Nations, all that.
He's nasty in Four Nations.
Just one play I watched too, where I thought it really encapsulated his game was just someone trying to chip the puck by him on Germany, and he beat him to the puck, having to turn and transition. And like he just seems like a really efficient skater, really good with his stick, skates well, can transition to offense really well. Like kind of a maybe a Werenski light, but better defensively. And as you said, like man, Werenski, Hughes, those are two Norris candidates in the league, not just American-born best defensemen. So the American team with a healthy defense core, that's a huge strength of their team. Canada's no slouch, don't get me wrong, but looking at their forwards and then looking at their D after Makar and then looking at their goalie, despite Bennington playing like fucking vintage Dominic Hasek, the Americans have the advantage in that department. So again, we shouldn't get too ahead of ourselves because they have to they have to win going up in the next couple of games. But Uh, that's definitely how they're gonna have to beat them is like you guys said, come out early, punch them in the face, and score first because you don't want to be chasing against that team.
Another defenseman I want to bring up is Hughes, dude. How fun is it just to watch him skate around with the puck back there? Like his skating ability is just unfucking real.
I know. Yeah.
Just how tight he turns with the puck, like at full speed is just it's insane.
Yeah. I'm glad you said that because he's kind of like one you can almost forget because he's so good. I was trying to like name these underrated guys, but Quinn Hughes, I notice a ton where guys who are in a tough position, like they're getting pressured and maybe they're flat-footed, when they see him, they fucking send the puck his way because you can't give that guy a bad pass. You can put it in his feet, he'll kick it, turn, spin, do another spin. He's the most shifty defenseman in the league, I think. I don't think Makar beats him in that department, like in terms of transition. I think Makar's probably a more elite forward defenseman in that way. But yeah, Quinn Hughes is incredible, and his impact healthy to this team is yeah. I mean he's a X factor that they have.
For sure.
So I mean JB, if you don't have anything else, I don't really have anything else on the USA team either. I figured we could chat a little bit about college, um, what's going on there. Sound good?
Sure.
Yeah.
So yeah, I mean, first of all, we haven't talked since Gavin McKenna knocked the teeth out of that kid's mouth. So, Jake, why don't you, as the resident college hockey guy, why don't you break down what happened with Gavin McKenna?
Well, obviously wasn't there, but from the rumors that I'm hearing, they were at the popular bar at Penn State. I think it was family weekend. Gavin was with his mom, and I guess some guy was feeling a little ballsy, had a couple too many drinks, thought he could start talking shit about Gavin McKenna's mom. He called her a whore and he got fucking 1-2 fucking Mayweather, put to fucking sleep, broke his jaw in three places. How you fucking doing? That's the breakdown.
No, great. JB,
And
anything to add to that? Little cherry on the top or what?
I mean, you run your mouth, it's gonna come back and hit you. So
fuck around and find out.
I think he got what he deserved. Especially, there's a lot of stuff you can chirp about. You don't go after someone's mother. That's just
You're asking for it.
seeing red.
Yeah. And look, I have a tendency that I can get in a rabbit hole on Twitter, and I do not want to make this podcast about Twitter. But I do want to say a lot of people like fucking brutal in there, man. It's brutal. I don't even want to get into that. A lot of people though are really like, even if he's defending his mother, that's like toxic masculinity and shouldn't have like, he should still face like people were so ready to send this kid to fucking prison for 20 years. It's insane. If you're drunk and a fist fight happens, that does not mean 20 years in prison. If you jump somebody, you should go to jail because that's scumbag shit. But if you talk shit, you get hit. That's just it. That's all it is. And he fucking, like you said, he fucked around. He found out. He probably thought he was cool. His buddies, like I think somebody in our chat said like his brother's friend was the kid or something. Look, man, I'm sure that kid right now, they dropped charges. I'm sure he's like, I completely deserved it. I got embarrassed. That picture came out of him looking like a goofball, and everyone was so early to fucking throw this kid in jail, man. I said from the get-go, I saw that is gonna rise. Like his draft stock is gonna rise after that. No matter even if he goes to jail, he might still get drafted like Ovechkin in 2003. So him defending his mother, I mean, that's just a check that box. He's got character. He's willing to fight. You're telling me NHL GMs aren't going, what? This kid might have dropped to three? No chance now. Dude, unless Keaton Verhoff swings on a guy who fucking punches his dad in the stomach, Gavin McKenna's going number one. Call it now. Now, I also did see something today where people were like voting for Hobie Baker, and the Hobie Baker's the best college player, pretty much, right, Jake? That's what it is.
Yeah, it's pretty much MVP of college hockey.
Exactly. So Macklin Celebrini won it. I think Eichel won it.
Yep.
A lot of times it signifies a lot, right? So he's in the running for that, of course, and people voting. And I saw somebody respond. A lot of people are going to joke about that, like when they see that. A few days, weeks after this news, they're going to make a joke. And I was kind of looking in the comments, and some people were doing that, and some others were like kind of claiming that he shouldn't, because of this. And it's funny because there's so many people who jump on the wagon of how kind of like progressive we are now. Like again, like a fist fight. Like imagine 20 years ago hearing that the first overall pick in the NFL and HL whatever was in a fist fight for
Trading the
even
whole team for that pick.
yeah, dude, even any reason, even if it wasn't the reason that came out that ended up making him look so much better, no one would give a shit. Nowadays, it's like he fucking punched somebody. It's like what the guy say, dude? Like what are we doing?
Fucking pussy.
Yeah, it's insane. Like, so anyway, but that being said, somebody commented and goes, all you people claiming like he shouldn't get this, you don't even know who Hobie Baker is. So I look up Hobie Baker. Hobie Baker was born in Pennsylvania in a prominent family. He attended St. Paul's School in New Hampshire before enrolling at Princeton in 1910. Baker started in both football and hockey, captaining both teams, leading them to national championships. He was known for never fouling, famously visiting opponents' locker rooms after games. He worked in New York as a banker, continued playing amateur hockey for the St. Nicholas Club. He served as a fighter pilot in the U.S. Army Air Service during World War I, earning the Croix de Guerre and commanding the 141st Aero Squadron. Just days before returning after the war, he died in a test flight crash in France on December 21st, 1918, at age 26. So, like, Hobie Baker was a fucking hero. So he would have defended his mother too. So anybody saying Gavin McKenna shouldn't win this, shouldn't play in the NHL because of what he did, you're a clown and a fool. And that's all I got. So,
Agreed.
yeah, I mean, I could end it there. I kind of wanted to be honest. James Hagen's lighting it up still. I mean, it's nothing really crazy huge to talk about.
34 points in 26 games.
We do have a little internal rivalry here between Jake and JB of BC and BU, even though neither of them went to that school, but they still feel very strongly about it. And BC did win. So I did just want to, bring that up because I know you posting college hockey, you were a little bit sour, a little
Oh,
bit.
I mean, yeah, obviously I wanted the Terriers to win, but I mean, they're pretty brutal this year. They just don't show up to play. They have the talent, and Pandolfo said it after the Beanpot game, like, I can't get this team to play consistent hockey.
Yeah.
And I mean, yeah, it sucks. And BC's got a good squad. They play hard. They definitely deserve to win that game. They were definitely better than us.
Yeah.
It helps a little bit that they're basically the BC Bruins. If it was any
Yes.
other year, I'd be so salty too.
Yeah,
But
it doesn't hurt that obviously rooting for Hagens in that situation is, hoping his development continues. But yeah, he's taking another step. Letourneau as well. And, just a quick point on Letourneau. Obviously, this was public knowledge, but, a lot of the heat that kid took when he was going into his freshman year or at his freshman year at BC, people didn't really understand that he went in to play college hockey earlier than he was supposed to. And this kid's 6'7", whatever he is. Usually kids like that who grow that big at that young of an age need to take a little bit of time to like walk. Like, can you imagine just all of a sudden going from, I'm 5'10" on a Friday afternoon, but imagine adding 8 inches to me up, I'm talking in the leg department. Um, like in overnight almost, it would change how you move and whatever. So playing the game of hockey at a high level and going in early just shows like a lot of times you can't believe the hype and you can't fall into the boomer bust thing. You really just gotta hope these kids are developing. He came in early because Will Smith made the NHL. That was what opened that spot up for him. Uh, at BC, obviously now he has went from 3 points in 37 games as a freshman to over a point per game or just
Yeah, he's
around it.
over a point per game.
Yeah.
Like he's got 29 and 27 or something like that.
Yeah. So good stuff there.
They
And
were also both nominated for Hobie Baker. In the
yeah.
first nomination, there's 10.
Okay. I was
Both
going to
got
ask that.
nominated. And then it gets
It shrinks.
goes down to 3. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. And then they vote finally on the third, on the top three.
I
Uh,
think Hagens has a pretty good chance to win it. I think right now that Ethan Wittenbach kid from Quinnipiac is starting to run away with it. That kid is fucking phenomenal, by the way.
really.
Fifth round pick of Calgary.
Hmm.
Oof. I went to a game when they played Harvard. Harvard was ranked 11th. I think Quinnipiac was 6th. Quinnipiac beat them 9-1. This kid had like 5 points. They're fucking
Wow.
this is a legit squad.
Mm. Yeah. I haven't heard too much about that kid at all. Yeah, I mean, we'll see, but I will say, like, obviously, if you guys have anything, let me know. But to wrap it up for me would be obviously play Freebird. I should quickly mention too, the support has been amazing, and it seems like people genuinely just really they fuck with the stuff. They're also, supporting what we're doing, which is great. So thank you to anyone who's listening and did buy something. And most orders people have received already. I did promise everything would be out by the Olympics. I met that promise. People buying them mid-tournament, it's a little bit of a different story. This is a small operation, and long story short, like just sold out of hats and hoodies and trying to pivot. Hoodies probably will have a quicker turnaround than the hats. So people buying bundles, that gets a little bit murky in the waters. But I'll figure it out. Um, Everyone's gonna get their stuff. Everything is tracked. Message the account if you have any questions about that. So play Freebird, go Americans. Let's do this. Let's bring the country together. We need it more than ever with what is going on. And I also want to mention, like, just looking about, in a week or so with the Bruins coming back and talking about deadline. I think updating what I feel on that would be let's see the kids, man. Like I really think Hagens is probably done. You could maybe even argue Letourneau. And they have some prospects that kid Lock Mellis down there. You got Lysell, you have Patras. Like let's not buy. Maybe you sell a guy. I don't know. I'm not really loving the idea of that, but yeah, see if Hagens can jump into this team, see what you can put together. And I'm excited for the Bruins to come back as well, but not before obviously the US wins gold here. So, any final comments from you boys?
No, let's fucking bring it home.
Let's do
It's
it.
Play
been a long
Freebird.
46 years.
It's time.
Play fucking Freebird.
Fly high, baby.
All right, well, if you got this far, see a therapist. Check it out on grosshockey.com. We offer therapy as well and merchandise, only expanding that. Go USA, and we will see you next week.